Last year, I was homeless for a period of 3 months. I had no mailing address, and so my mail went to a PO box, and I put all my belongings in storage. And here is what I learned about housing and apartment searching in New York City. So if you're new here, welcome. Grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's get into the story of how I was homeless in 2025 in New York City. In 2023, I had graduated with my PhD in chemistry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Always a celebratory thing to think about. I had finished, a few months earlier than I was supposed to finish. I had a job offer here in New York, so I had moved from Ohio, and I was moving to Long Island, and I was very excited, right? And it's going to be a change of scenery, and mistake number one, in Ohio, I had a 1-bedroom apartment that I was paying $600 for, and I'm going to show throughout this video some images and just location ideas and what these places look like. And I had come to New York a little ill prepared with what the change of scenery is going to look like, or what it's going to entail when it comes to money and how much I'm paying for rent. So when I came to New York, I had scouted for apartments and I was moving to Long Island. Now, jokes on me, when you come to Long Island, there's a lot of senior housing and senior living situations and hospices than there is apartments for young people. And if you find one that's for young people, it's usually ridiculously priced. You're looking at $2,500 and upwards, right? So $2,500 and above. When I was moving down here, I had a budget in mind. I was like, I don't mind spending $1,500 or $2,000 tops for an apartment. And that was the mindset with which I had come here. And I started apartment searching in New York, specifically Long Island. And what I had found when I got to the island was that a lot of the apartment settings that they had for young people like me, was something that is called mother-daughter apartment. So there's going to be a whole house, and to the side of the house, there's going to be like a door, like a little gate, where you would go through the side, and then there will be an entrance either through the back or the side where you enter the mother-daughter, and then you would have your apartment somewhere off the side of the main house. And so what happens in this setting is that you have no access to the main house at all. You never use the front door. You always go through the side or through the back to get to your own apartment. And that also that setup looked like. Now, when I first came here, that was very popular among young professionals. Again, because Long Island wasn't really it's not really geared towards young professionals. A lot of people who work in New York City retire on Long Island, or have homes and families in Long Island. So it's a very family oriented setting. So you're going to see a lot of homes, and people who own these homes sometimes have a daughter, which is part of the house, and so you would move into the daughter house. When I came to Long Island, I met a really great guy. He was living with his girlfriend in his house, and I'd scouted a lot of locations. And when I was searching for apartments, I specifically used apartments.com. This is not a paid ad, but I just had to talk about specifically how I went about my search. There's another option called apartmentlist.com. So I compared all these platforms. I was able to get a phone number for apartments.com for a mother-daughter. And part of what made my case complicated was I was putting that my rent range was $1,000 to $2,000, and anything from $1,000 to $1,500, you're probably not going to find a lot of options, but between $1,500 to $2,000, you might find some options, and a lot of them are going to be mother-daughter. So I found a mother-daughter setting. It's a dude that lived with his girlfriend, right? And they had a daughter to the house, and I went and checked it out. And I really liked it, right? I really liked that setting. He told me I was going to have a portion of the backyard that's mine. It's going to be sealed off strictly for me. I had my own private entrance, and I had a little parking space. I really liked this specific one, and the asking rent for this was $1,950 a month. Now, this does not include laundry, because the apartment does not have laundry. It covers utilities, it covers water bill, heating, and the rest of the things. This later became my first apartment in New York City, and my expenses look like this. My monthly rent was $1,950. My insurance for that apartment was $15 a month. My internet cost for that apartment was $50 a month, as internet was not provided. And because this apartment had no laundry, there wasn't a laundry space, not in the main house, not in the daughter, I had to do laundry outside. And for the first time, I started to use laundromat. Story of my life. So I started to use laundromats. Typically, I spend between $30 to $50 a month on just washing clothes. If you put together all this cost tops in a month, I'll be spending $2,065 in terms of just living situation. And this was where I lived in New York for around 14 months. After doing this for a while, I started to consider other options. I was just, when you're just like browsing and just casually evaluating the options you have, I found a place, another mother-daughter, that was going for $1,650, and it is $300 less than my current location. The space was a little smaller, but it was effective. It got the job done. So in my head, I was like, I really like this place and it's $300 cheaper than my current place. Perhaps I should move. I must emphasize in this first apartment that I had an excellent relationship with my landlord. Excellent guy. He lived with his girlfriend and stuff like that. I greet him, he answers. And I know this sounds simple and normal, but I'm emphasizing it for a reason. Stay with me. So I was casually browsing the internet, just looking at what was out there for apartment options still, because I was like, do I really have the best deal for housing? I found a place that was going for $1,650 a month. Then I went to just check it out and just see what the place looked like. I went and checked out the other place and I liked it. It's also a mother-daughter, and the commute for this place to work is 15 minutes. Meanwhile, my commute to work from my place, which was $2,060, was only 10 minutes. So the difference of commute time is just 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what? I'll be saving $300 a month. And I was like, heck yeah, sign me up, right? Sign me up for that extra $300 to go in my savings. If I'm going to be living in a new place for a year, I'm going to be saving at least close to $4,000. So I decided to move, but these are the conditions of the new place that I moved into. Number one, the rent was $1,650. It covered utilities like internet, water, gas, and all of that. However, it also has no laundry. You will start to see that this is a pattern in New York. And when I say New York, I mean Long Island. I'll come to New York proper itself later. And you realize that this is a pattern. And I was like, life is tough. $1,650, not that crazy. Again, you factor in my laundry. At this point, I'm still doing laundry outside, and that is still about like $30 to $50 a month. So I'm looking at about a total of $1,700 tops a month expenses for this second location. However, in this place, I started to have issues with my landlord. This is the part where I say, like, I feel like I was catfished. This second apartment came with a lot of caveat. It soon became very uncomfortable for me being there. I survived my 1 year, and after that I knew I was going to move out because of the whole clause around moving out. And now I started looking for apartments that allow me to live month by month in New York City. When I say New York City, I'm categorically saying New York City. So I wanted to move away from Long Island because housing in Long Island for the last 2+ years hasn't been the most convenient thing for me. So I started to look for other options. So I decided to give Airbnb a try. And the reason why I wanted to do Airbnb was because the first two locations, I used to drive only like 10 minutes and I used to drive only like 15 minutes. And so now that I'm about to explore other options, move away from Long Island, go towards New York City so that I can allow myself to experience New York City itself, I wanted to be sure that I'm ready for the extra commute time. So I explored Airbnb. So first I got Airbnb in a town called Massapequa, and this was a 20-minute commute time to walk. I had found this nice Airbnb spot in Massapequa for only $1,500. That's $1,500 for 1 month. And so I went to this particular location and I stayed here for a month. And at this point, I had put all my belongings in a storage on Long Island. And then I opened the PO box with a post office very close to work. So all my mails, I forwarded them there. And so I was receiving mail from a post office, and all my belongings were in storage. All I had with me was a couple bags, all right? And this was summer of 2025. Life has been interesting. At this point, I did not have a stable home address, right? And if you're looking for me and want to send me anything, it goes straight to the PO box, and I go to the post office to grab my stuff. So life was that interesting. And so I did Massapequa for 1 month. During my Airbnb in Massapequa, a couple of things were different that I noticed that I really enjoyed. When I go up to this house, I enter through the front door. I haven't done this for almost 2.5 years, right? I always enter my apartment through the side, either through the back or through the side. And I think mentally I got used to it, and I was like, oh, like I kind of forgot what it felt like to enter a house through the front, a house that I lived in. And so for the first time during this 1 month of Airbnb in Massapequa, I was entering the house through the front door. And this was really exciting for me, right? I entered through the front door. There's a washer and dryer in that house. I had a bathroom, I had a bedroom, I had a kitchen all on the same floor. And it's like a whole setting. And I have the whole house, access to the whole house. It was exciting. I'm saying this because I had been living in a corner of someone's house. And so this 1 month Airbnb reminded me what I was missing or lacking. After Massapequa, I had gotten a place in Jamaica Queens. Now I had moved to the city proper. If you don't know anything about Queens, if you remember the movie Coming to America,
Life, real life. Good morning, my neighbors!
You know, he was in Queens when that happened. But anyway, so I was in Queens, and here it felt like home. There was a lot of black people. It has a lot of like Caribbean influence, Caribbean restaurant. Look, I really enjoyed myself. During this 3 months of hopping around, it seemed tedious, but it was exciting because I was just trying different things. So I was in Jamaica. I found a really nice house here. Just an old man that lives in a house, and he lived there by himself. It was a nice house. I got a nice room upstairs, a very big room that was facing the front. It felt like the master bedroom as far as I'm concerned. And I had access to the whole first floor, access to the second floor, bathrooms, kitchen. This Jamaica location cost me $1,750 a month, but I really liked it. It was a nice house, flowers and stuff in the entrance. And as I was going in, there'll be like a nice front door. There's a whole big living room area. There's a kitchen. There's a laundry room, and my room was upstairs. And there was a big bathroom upstairs. I had a nice room with a window that faced the front of the house, and I can see the road and see the neighbor's house. It was beautiful. And again, one of those times that like, wow, I really missed what it felt like to live in a proper house. And honestly, also just come out of the bedroom and run into a human being, see another person. Because before this time, I had been living by myself for like over 4 years in a row. I don't and haven't had roommates up until that point. And so I stayed here for a month, and I really liked it, and I renewed it for another month. So I had done Airbnb for 3 months in a row at this point. Anybody who asks me where do you stay, I'll be like, I'm currently homeless, but if you're looking for me, you can find me here, right? So that was my life for 3 months last year, summer. Around this time, I started to apartment search for a more stable place, because I was like, I wanted to do this Airbnb thing for 3 months tops so that I can become stable afterwards. Then I started to look for apartments from platforms such as hotpads.com, apartments.com. And Hotpads is actually really good for finding housing in New York City area. And I'm telling you the specific one I used. So I was looking for an apartment that had no broker's fee, that would allow me to go month by month, so that, you know, just in case things are not going right, I can skedaddle, actually look for other options if I don't like the place. I'm really not excited about moving again because of all those moving experiences. And I was looking for a place to call home, a place to be stable, to get my things from storage and move into, and just be a stable, good old normal human being. So I started apartment searching, and a friend of mine invited me to see her place and was like, look, I'm moving out. The original plan was we were going to stay together. I became open to the idea of having a roommate after my Airbnb escapades. I was like, you know what? Having a roommate is not the worst thing in the world. I'll survive it. I've had roommates in the past, so doing it one more time was not going to be that bad, as far as you get like a reasonable person. So I was able to find a place in Bayside Queens, and for this particular one, there's a location, if you're not familiar with Bayside Queens, it's a really nice area, right? Very cultural, lots of eating spots, very accessible, and the cost of housing for me here was going to be $1,500 a month. But here's the biggest kicker and advantage of all the setup is, for this unit, I was going to have like a studio, like a studio style, basement style situation with windows. And I know it's weird because I said basement style, but I'm also saying like windows because I have 2 windows that can get really bright. And in this setup, I had washer and dryer, so I can do my laundry without going upstairs, without going outside, without going anywhere. There is a kitchen, there is a full bathroom with one of my roommates and the other roommate, and then I don't really see the other one because again, we're all dudes, young professionals, everybody working, living their best life, so we barely run into each other. But even when we do, we are just guys and we have really nice chats and everybody move on. It's like something quintessential that I was missing. And in this setting here in Queens, because there's a lot of young people, I get invited to a lot of things. I get to hang out more with friends, I get to hang out with my roommates. Even when they have like functions outside, I get invited, and life started to feel more normal and more rounded. More importantly, also, I get to do month by month payment in this place. And what this means is, like, if things ever go sideways, I can just leave after I give a 30 days notice without any drama or issues. Everything I used to stress out about before is just accessible. So if you'll be moving to New York City, or planning to move to New York City, or live in New York City area, if you're going to be in Brooklyn, if you're going to be in Bronx, please consider having roommates. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but more importantly, I think the nature of the people you live with is also important for your peace of mind when you have roommates. So just keep that in mind. What do I want you to take away from this video? Please keep an open mind. Don't search for housing looking for a place you can live and exist by yourself. Consider finding a roommate. And also, there are other resources that you can find apartments that people are posting specific rooms in their houses. Some people would just post like a room in their house and be like, this room is available, pay 800, pay 700. Some of them might not be convenient for a lot of people. It might be convenient for other people, but keep an open mind about having a roommate. Keep an open mind about finding options that are not exactly the same as what you find outside of New York State. If you're moving to New York from out of state, please talk to people and keep an open mind. And what I'm trying to say here is be open to having a roommate or roommates. You save some money, you get some great company, and you don't have to deal with the shenanigans of a landlord, and you can actually afford an apartment. If I wanted to get like this apartment by myself, the one I live in right now, it's $3,500 per month if I wanted to get the whole space to myself, but I'm splitting with people and I'm paying the larger share of $1,500 because I have the biggest space. I have the most privacy compared to my two roommates, and this is what I wanted. But given my history, I was comfortable paying that amount, and I really like having my privacy. Also, I need to be able to shoot videos like this for you guys, so I need more space to put my gear to be able to make content like this, and so that's why I'm paying extra. But if you're coming to New York City, please keep an open mind. If saving money is a big priority, explore having a roommate. It never hurts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone that you think will definitely enjoy some of the tips here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.